Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a great week. This is Sean with Paycheck the Portfolio. This week, I'm going to drop a Wednesday video for my bottom line series. And basically, what that is a monthly review. Just like a business would look at their financial statement for the prior month, that's what I'm doing in this series. We'll look at the income and expenses, basically dividends received minus any expenses related, and to see how basically treating my finances like a business is going. We'll look at dividends and projected gross portfolio value and net portfolio value. Like I do in every video, I'm going to do a quick portfolio update. My current net account value is sitting at 154,000, basically 155,000. My total unrealized gain is sitting close to 38,000. Today was a little bit choppy in the market. We had some pullback with Bitcoin and MSTR and some other things going on in the market. So I was down basically 0.48% there, but it's been really good the last few weeks. If you look at my actual performance down below, this is the time weighted return. So year to date, I'm sitting at 38%. The S&P is at basically 13%. The Nasdaq's at 16. The Dow's at 8.5, and the Russell's getting close to 11%. Looking at the 3-year cumulative performance, I'm sitting at 124%. The S&P's at 88%. The Nasdaq's at 117. The Dow's at 62.5%, and the Russell's at 49%. So again, this is time weighted return. This does not account for any funds coming in or any funds deducted. It is the growth of the portfolio with dividends received. The historical values tab shows the net account value with both income and expenses. So you can see that over the last year, I'm up basically $54,000, almost $55,000 while fully living out of my brokerage account. If you're new to my channel, all of my W-2 income rolls into a brokerage account. I don't live out of a traditional checking account. All of that money is invested into growth stocks, closed-end funds, and high-yield funds. And what that equates to is a business spread through each cycle. I'm taking that money and I'm investing into those 3 buckets I just articulated. And what's happening is my dividends are snowballing month after month, which will eventually exceed my annual living expense need and set me free from a 9-to-5 job. You can see on the estimated income tab within E-Trade that I'm currently at $52,332 of projected dividends over the next 12 months. The way that E-Trade calculates this is they take the last dividend distribution and they project that or annualize that over the next 12 months. So I need about $100,000 of living expenses to live free from a 9-to-5 job. So I'm basically 52% of the way there, is the way I look at that, obviously, with the financials there. So that's the portfolio update. Jumping right into the bottom line, basically on the left-hand side, what you're seeing is an export directly from E-Trade. What this does is show you in green the dividends that I had received. So I'm just scrolling through here. Some of these funds pay weekly, some of these funds pay monthly, and some of them pay quarterly. So basically, you might see duplicates of the same name. That's because they're paying weekly, just as an FYI there. And then down at the bottom, I put in the red, just like a normal balance sheet, any interest I paid for the month and my put option insurance as well. And then you can see basically the total bottom line number there after expenses was $2,817 that was generated on my own cash, essentially. So if you look at this like a balance sheet breakdown, and if you've watched any of my videos, I have a master's degree in business. I've worked in private equity. I've ran private equity companies. So I really enjoy just a balance sheet perspective and treating my finances as if I'm running a private equity company. So if you look at the balance sheet here, you can see the dividends off to the left-hand side. Basically, I broke it down by CLM, CRF. Those are cornerstone funds. You can see the amounts off to the right. Misty, McDonald's, AMSI, and then I rolled all the other dividends up into a total just so it didn't take too much space. But again, you can see all those broken out on the left. So all of my dividend and ETF income was $3,961.26 for the month. If you scroll down to the expenses tab, margin interest came in at $994.37. My put option insurance came in at about $150. So if you add those two expense line items together, that's a net debit of $1,144. That's what the cost of doing business was that month. So my net cash flow or net income is obviously the income minus the expenses, being $2,817. And I kept my portfolio equity right around 51% for the month. And so basically what that means is I always maintain 50% plus equity in my portfolio. And you'll see that in another graph. And of course, you can always ask me questions within the YouTube videos, and I'm happy to respond to those. So all drip activities were done. So I drip my long-term growth stocks, my closed-end funds, and I take my high-yield funds as dividends to cover expenses. So my portfolio was fully hedged. All of my drip activities took place, and my account compounded just as planned and expected. Looking at a few charts here, I have it broken down just visually so you can see it by payer and how much they paid for the month. So you can see Cornerstone all the way at the top with Misty, QQQY, McDonald's, and then all the way down to the bottom. Some of these new weekly pay funds I'm starting to scale into, like Berkshire Hathaway from Round Hill's weekly pay fund, BRKW. And then I've been scaling into HOOW, YBIT, BTCI, and others. So some of these funds I'm scaling into at entry points that are attractive to me, and others I've been in for quite some time, but you can see the breakdown by payer there. And then off to the right, what I wanted to show visually is a really neat graph that I've been tracking. So the blue line is my gross account value. The orange line is my net account value. So basically, what this shows is every month I'm fully invested. So every month, my gross portfolio value is growing with my W 2 income. And what's going to happen, like I said earlier in the video, is that I'll eventually be set free from my 9 to 5 job because I'm getting growth, I'm getting compounding, and I'm getting cash flow. So sometimes I'll get YouTube comments that basically say there's no way you're going to get 20% returns, 30% returns. I showed you the performance tab in E-Trade transparently. Those are E-Trade numbers, not mine. And then you can see on a graph here how my gross portfolio value is growing month after month and how my net portfolio value is following suit with the equity that I was talking about at 51% there. So if you look at this projection and you put it on paper, if you want to see how quickly I might get to $1 million gross portfolio value, I get paid $132,000 a year net. So over 5 years, $660,000 of this growth is coming from my own W-2 income that I would have spent otherwise. So that's the true power in front loading the investments instead of investing the leftovers and waiting 30 years to retire. So with this trajectory, basically, if I grow at 3% a month, and I have it broken down into a few different tiers, if I grow at 3% a month, that's 42.6% a year. I would hit a gross portfolio value of $1 million by January 2028, or 27 months. If I go at 2.5% monthly gross, or 34.5% a year, that will be 33 months, or July of 2028. At 2% monthly gross, monthly growth, that's 26.8% per year, which equates to January 2029, or 39 months. And down below, I'm simply showing my actual returns for the last year being 48.51% versus the S&P at 17.2%, the Nasdaq at 26.5%, the Dow at 10.2%, and the Russell at 12.3%. So I'm showing you real numbers that are transparent from my own brokerage account, front loading my whole investment, and having a realistic projection of being able to hit $1 million by 27 months all the way up to 39 months, which will expedite the growth curve and the ability to leave a 9 to 5 job if I choose to do so within the next 5 years. If you're interested in additional resources, under all of my videos, I have pinned comments here. You can get a free starter kit. You can book a one-on-one strategy call. We have a private Discord and membership with tools and calculators that you can use. And then if you need shoulder to shoulder setup and coaching, there's a white glove option there as well. And I really enjoy doing these monthly reviews. I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Take care. Bye.